Hello, good morning. We have today Desi. That's your right?
Des.
Des.
What, yeah.
Oh,
Most
Des.
people call me Des.
Des Fran. Plant goals. Look at this. Plant goals. Beep, beep, beep. Maybe we can
My
do-
poor ratty sticker that's like
Can you,
healing now.
yeah. Nice. Do you sell those?
They were just ones that we have and I give them away. Sometimes we have like all kinds of stickers and pins and
Good for you.
whatnot.
So when did you start this business? It's been, what, 2, 3?
Almost 2 years. So November will be 2 years. We opened November 2019 and it was 4 months and then the pandemic hit.
Oh yeah. Oh wow.
Did it really
It
turn things for a loop?
It was bizarre. I think part of it is that a lot of people just got into plants
Yeah.
in the pandemic.
Like,
Exactly. So
I had hardly any plants before, and now I don't even know where to put them
Yeah.
anymore.
yeah, I think that's a lot of
a lot of
the case.
people. Yeah.
And we started in 85 square feet, so it was a teeny tiny little store.
Oh wow!
And so
Was it the same location you have now?
no,
Okay.
no. So we're on Water Street now, and we started on Hunter Street beside Black Honey.
Oh right.
Tiny little like
Oh,
closet. Like I could literally hold my hands out and hit both walls. It was tiny, tiny.
Oh.
And
The spot you have now is small too.
it is small, yeah,
Yeah.
but not that small.
No.
We have like 2 floors, like we have the whole basement for storage downtown,
Oh.
and we have a warehouse now, so we have a lot of extra space.
Right.
Whereas, yeah, in this little spot, like if we had just kept that, we couldn't have opened up at all. Like we still wouldn't have enough square footage to have someone in and be distanced because there's not that much room. Like maybe one person now that it's opened up more. But a couple months after opening, we were like, this is getting busy. Like before COVID, I was like, this is pretty busy. Maybe we think about a bigger space. And Ash Realty, who we rent from, they were like, we have a space that we think would be cool. So we went to go look at it, sign the lease, and then like a week later, the world
Collapsed.
stopped.
Nice.
And I was like, oh, let's
Like
just
what,
keep going.
What did we do?
All right. Well,
Just
every
roll with it.
literally every step has been something has
Oh
gone
my goodness.
either wrong or just weird. Like the day I
Yeah,
picked up
not
the keys,
ideal.
I had to call Ash Realty and say I'm in a merge because I can't come pick up the keys because I severed a tendon
Oh no!
in this finger,
Oh
which is
my
why it
God.
doesn't
Ow!
bend
How? During that
on a
time.
soup can lid. So
Ow.
that happened. I had to have surgery. So for the first
Oh my
the first
God,
4,
what
I've
a
had 2
nightmare.
surgeries now to repair it, and it
Oh
will
my
never,
God. They'll never
it'll
be
never
the
be the
same.
same. But yeah, so that happened. So for the first like 3 months, I only had one hand. I had to do everything. Like I was in a splint like this for a long time. Like
Oh my
everyone,
God.
if people came into the store when we first started, there was like this duck situation
Yeah,
and
it's
drew
like
a
a
face
claw.
on it. Like
Welcome
That
to Plant.
well, and I wasn't
Oh.
allowed to use it at all, or it would have just broken this
Oh my
back
God,
open.
that's
So
so awful.
it was pretty gross for a while. I was one-handed. My partner actually left his job because I couldn't drive. I wasn't allowed to drive for like ever because it's not safe because I couldn't like grab anything
steering
if there
wheel.
was like a crash or whatever. So I wasn't allowed to drive
Oh my goodness.
for the first chunks. I couldn't go to the greenhouse. I couldn't go get stock. You couldn't do anything.
Oh my God.
So he quit his job, came to work for me. He's now like our full-time logistics delivery driver, handles the warehouse
Everything.
logistics. So
That's really nice. no?
that's nice. but-
What did he do before?
So he worked in television for like 15 years.
Oh wow.
Then we
Does he have a better camera?
we have a lot of cameras. He worked in television here and then some freelance stuff. And then because I had done online marketing for like 10 years before that, in our own company when we lived in Coburg. Then we came back here, and then I sort of as a fluke opened this plant store that now we have 5 employees, and both of our parents work for us.
That's
And
so
That's amazing.
awesome.
Yeah,
Good
so
for you
it's-
guys. That's great.
it's been a very weird, like, I hate to say, I'm always like, it would be neat to see where we could be, like, sans pandemic.
Yes.
But also, it wouldn't be the same. Like, I think our community is so close to us because we did the delivery. So like sometimes the only person someone saw was like Rich running and putting a plant and like running back and waving, and like we did a lot of delivery, and now we deliver all the way like Oshawa, Haliburton, Prince Edward County, like a giant radius, and we've added the warehouse so that we can deliver more things. I don't know if we would have, like I wouldn't have been pushed to put it online even though that was my background, because I was like, it's not an online store. That wasn't the goal when I opened it. It was come visit this cute plant shop and hang out with me and the plants.
It almost seems like business boomed because
for sure. Like we got super busy, and we went from delivering. we went from like delivering everything in my like Honda Civic, like our old. Can I say shit box?
Yes.
Our
Yes, you can.
Terrible car, which is lovely, but like not pretty. So we bought a caravan.
Well, yeah, and not great
So now
for
you
like
see the
big
plant
plant
there.
delivery.
We couldn't
Like,
do
where am I
anything
going to put
big.
this?
Yeah. We used a second floor apartment for storage for a while because we just didn't have the room for plants before we had the second place. We used our house for a while. Like, I have some like really weird behind the scenes photo of like this is what it looked like when it was just us and no one else. But
it's really great though because you can probably, I mean, you guys obviously offer excellent customer service, so because you were able to boom in the beginning and form like good relationships right off the bat, it's so great.
Well, and our customers have been fantastic. I mean, like in any business, you're gonna have customers who are less than lovely to deal with. And I worked in retail.
We've never dealt with customer service.
But honestly, like the percentage of angry plant people is very small. We get
I can
very
see that
seldom do we
actually.
get angry people.
Wow.
Um,
Because it's plants.
I just
And people just
right.
love
People
them.
are like, how do you be in a bad mood when you come to the plants?
Well, because it's not something they have to buy. It's something they want to buy, so they're happy to be doing it.
And I mean, we have our guarantee right up on our website. I'm like, I would rather you be happy with plants. If you've got a problem, let me know. And I don't think, like from my end, I don't think we've ever had someone who was like, no.
What kind of guarantee can you do with it?
So it's like
plant
a
dies.
long-winded thing where I'm like, we don't offer, it's not like a 2-week guarantee because you can't do that with plants.
Yes.
A problem might not show up till down the road. I'm like, we will either help you care
Fix
for
the
your
problem.
plant if it's a care issue, or if it's an issue that it came with, we'll fix it, and if not, like we will make it
Figure it out.
make it work
Yeah.
somehow, whether it's a replacement, a refund, a new plant, guidance in how to care for it.
Oh, that's
something like
lovely.
that.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
My plant that I bought there has been doing great. And everything else is not.
I mean, some plants are super easy and some plants need more attention.
For me, it's very hit and miss. It depends on how much care it actually needs.
Yeah.
So I get a lot of succulents, and I'm like, I can forget to water those.
Well, I even like
Those are the ones that are dying in my house. Those die.
No, mine
they need a
fly.
ton of sun and like hardly any water.
But
Yeah.
then I have put them outside to the sun, and
Yeah.
then they die more.
It could be a
Because-
transition too, because if they're going from like greenhouse where they're getting kind of perfect light, but it's not desert light, and then you put them right out in the sun, it kind of shocks them. So it's like a gradual.
Yeah, I've
I
been
literally
putting them
just
out,
did it
like,
with a philodendron in my
Yeah,
house.
I didn't put them out 24/7 right away. I
Yeah.
like with bringing them in, but carrying
Ease
like
them into
30
it.
plants outside every single day,
Yep.
longer periods of time.
So I wanted you to come to my house and be like, okay, this plant needs it. Just because the whole thing, oh my goodness. I have transplanted lavender 3 times and it just doesn't.
Lavender is moody because it wants like bright direct light as much as possible and a ton of water. It's so thirsty. Thanks. It gets grumpy
outta
very
here.
easily. Yeah.
For a while I put it under a tree and it wasn't giving me sunshine.
Yeah.
So I think that finished. Right now I'm hoping it comes back to that and put it and it's.
You should be able to revive it. Lots of sun. Trim
Lots of
back
sun.
anything that's not great.
Do you have any tips for keeping
Call
squirrels
plants.
away?
Keeping squirrels away.
Yeah, I have a major problem with
Yeah.
squirrels.
Me too. They dig in mine all the time.
They're so awful, and they're so bold.
Yeah.
They are not afraid of me whatsoever.
I have basically made it so that all of our bird feeders are pretty like squirrel friendly because I'd rather them just eat the bird seed
than
than
your
get into my
plants.
plants.
No, I know, they totally dug up all my strawberry plants, they ate all
Yeah.
my bok choy, and I have this like spinach, it's all gone.
Well, and we have like a dog that's in the yard all the time, but they've realized he's like old and blind and is not a
So they're
threat. Like they
just
don't
like,
care.
free for all, guys.
The birds will just land beside him because they're like, he won't see me.
And then look at your face.
It's okay. I'm not at my best this morning. I feel like I'm a walking zombie right now.
Back to life. Getting back to life.
Yeah.
So wellness and plants. Of course, more people. Like I'm not surprised. I think that
It's become like a
during COVID,
self-care
It
routine.
totally has
It
been.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you have seen any of the stuff we've been putting out.
Bit by bit, mostly
Yeah.
Instagram,
Yeah.
where I live.
You're really good at Instagram.
I mean, I
Yeah, I
spent
watch
10
your
years
videos.
doing Instagram for other people.
But then
Oh, that's what I
So-
was gonna ask. What is your background? Because
Yeah.
you were saying you were in school. So did you go for like horticulture?
No, I have a degree in philosophy, which
Oh.
is useless.
maybe we went to school to. It's not useless.
A little bit useless. I have a degree in philosophy and cultural studies.
Maybe we met. Did you go to Trent?
I did.
Well, how long ago?
Hold
on.
Well,
How old
I'm
are you?
35,
Oh, so maybe we
Um, but, I mean, who gets those degrees? I
I
mean, go, they're
She
lovely.
does. She gets them.
but-
have philosophy and political sciences,
There you go.
and I think they are super useful. I don't know
I-
what you mean, but I think philosophy
think-
is a big.
But as a
Honestly,
job,
like,
though.
yeah. I mean,
Super
career-wise,
useful.
no. Life-wise, yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
I even
but
have like my Spinoza tattoo because
What?
that's what I did. Like,
can I look? Can I?
I got this. I don't know, this is like a 12-year-old
It's
tattoo.
a tea. A teapot.
Yeah.
Spinoza, of all philosophers, Spinoza.
Yeah, I really liked him.
Oh, look at her.
Sorry,
Excuse me.
I was like, Spinoza,
I
like
had a hard
Nietzsche,
time.
and
Oh.
no one does.
Did you
Everyone's
do
like,
existentialist?
yeah.
Is that what your main, like your?
That was like my
focus?
main study in my final year. Was like,
Okay.
we had. This is way off tangent. We had a
Depressing.
professor do like a private course with 4 of us that was all on Spinoza's ethics. I don't know that I did very well in it. Wow.
That would be amazing. Really interesting.
Yeah,
Slightly depressing.
a little,
He is depressing.
a little.
All the existentialists.
Yeah, of
I
course.
had one existentialist in class, and
Did you? Was it Amelia who taught it?
I don't remember her name, but it was a girl.
Amelia Angelova. She's like this very sweet
Super
woman.
Yes.
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 Yeah, I could listen to her talk for hours and maybe not retain any of it.
Amazing teacher. Though.
Yeah.
Like she would make it so. Like I love these
Yeah.
existentialists. I was a little mad I didn't do more on it.
Well, in my very first year, because I lived in Peterborough already, I already lived on my own. I moved out when I was in high school. And so all of my friends were older. And so I didn't really have any first year friends when I went to Trent. I was like all second year and third year. So I ended up taking some courses with them just to be like, I'm not by myself. And so I took existentialist philosophy, the second year course in my first year, along with like all my other like 101, the stuff they make you take. And I was like, I love this. This is weird, and
It is.
and
weird.
that's sort of like where I stuck.
But I love more Simone de Beauvoir.
Yeah. Yes.
She recommended me a book. I don't know if you've read it. She Came to Stay.
Yeah, we did. We did some study on that, but I mean,
Well, I
that's
didn't study
a million
it.
years
Yeah,
ago.
that was just like her recommendation. I just
Yeah.
read it for fun. And I had a great time. It's one of my favorite books.
With birds
Fully
coming to-
recommended.
Coming to get some food.
They're like, give me crumbs now.
Cute.
But no, I love, like, I don't regret going to university, but it, like, part of me begrudges the whole post-secondary being shoved
Institution.
into it right after high school kind of thing. Like,
Absolutely.
what 17-year-old knows that? I don't know.
What do you want to
Oh,
do?
the
Right?
same.
I agree.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I just went to.
Right? You just go.
Because that's what you did.
I was sort of forced.
Yeah.
Forced
Yeah.
into it.
Well, I had a scholarship that paid for part of my tuition, but I had to go right after. Like, I wasn't allowed to take a gap year or I would have lost it. So that's why I just went. Looking back, I'm like,
Yeah.
probably could have waited better. And that's the advice I would give my kid. I'm like, they're
Wait
12.
until you know
Like, wait.
what's going on. Yes.
Just give it
Don't rush into something and waste a whole bunch of money for no reason.
Exactly.
But I'm glad I have my philosophy.
And that's the advice I would give my kid. I'm like, they're 12.
Wait until you know
like, wait.
what's going on. Yes.
Just give it
Don't rush into something and waste a whole bunch of money for no reason.
Exactly.
But I'm glad I have my philosophy degree. I never did it yet.
Yeah.
I would have done, I got a big fine. Yes, it was a lot of money around there.
Yeah.
But I'm glad. And I also didn't pay, so maybe that.
That's probably why.
It's my old self still. I'm a feminist that has a dad and a
Who
husband
pays for things.
that supports her.
It's funny though. Like
But maybe that's why I don't care about the money part.
Yeah.
And I had a good, great
Experience, yeah.
experiences.
Yeah.
Great friends. I met some German friends I visited.
Yeah.
And I love my philosophy degree.
Awesome.
I love it.
I feel like I've heard so many stories about people who are like, my parents paid for me, but I had to do the program they told me. Like I had friends who went into nursing, and it was like they wanted to go into art. My parents like, well, we'll pay if you become a nurse.
Do this. Yeah.
It's like, well,
no,
that's
thank you.
not really
No.
doing that.
My only conflict, I just had to have a degree.
Mm-hmm.
A degree to finish.
Yeah.
I took cultural studies. I thought it was a joke, but I enjoyed it.
I loved so many. I mean,
It was fun. It was
in my final
super
year,
fun.
I actually did. I like spread it out, so I did like my first year and then had summer, but then I did second year extra courses in summer, third year extra courses, fourth year. So by the end of it, I was like really done, like super done with being in school.
Never want to be in school again.
And I was pregnant at the end, and I was like,
Do you have children?
Yeah, I have one kid who's 12,
Oh.
and yeah, I will never push them to go do some school for something they don't want to. They're at Fourth and Montessori, which is really a nice school, and I'll be glad to have like
In
real
Lansdowne?
school back.
Well,
Yeah, it's out. Yeah, out the highway.
Lansdowne and whatever it becomes. Oh, good.
I think they'll end up an artist. That's like my guess, or in animation or something like that. So, like, just go.
Exciting. Yeah.
As long as you can be happy at something you do and
Yeah, my son is into all
Sustain
that
yourself?
animation stuff as well. He's always
yeah.
posting videos on his YouTube channel. I'm just
Yeah.
like, I don't even know what's going on when he's doing. He's like, oh, I just did this, that, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about right now.
It blows my mind some of the
He's
things
11.
that she has come up with, like some of the drawings. I'm like,
Yeah.
you made that? That's part of like
Good for them.
COVID has been good in that sense because they like super focused on
Yeah.
honing those skills and wouldn't have had all that extra time.
Right.
But she is so social and not having like friends all the time and not being able to be around people has been super hard. But
Yeah.
I know nobody would give like,
Well,
your,
the thing
your
is,
hours are so strange.
my hours are so strange, and you know, you don't make a ton of money working at the casino, so paying for
You
any
pay
sort
it
of
all
like
to a
actual,
babysitter,
right?
yeah.
It's like I'd be giving
Yeah.
out over my entire salary, so
yeah,
you know, what am I gonna do?
no, that's tricky.
Yeah.
I feel for everyone who has like babies during this time or like
Oh my
like
God.
little kids.
Right?
Like, mine's
Yeah.
12 and can be on their own for a while. Like it's
Yes.
not a big deal.
Yes, I started leaving my son, you know, for a couple
Yeah.
hours during the day, because
When I was like 8, we would get left alone. Like
Well, I
it's
was
not the same now.
It's
But
not
I
the
know I
same
was
now,
the
but honestly,
right?
at 11,
children.
yeah, at 11 years old, I was definitely babysitting other
too.
kids,
Oh,
like
yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I would never let my son do that, but I'm like, you can stay home for, you know, 2 hours is
Yeah.
fine.
Very fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, G will text me or whatever, and I'm like,
Yes.
"You're good." Like, the little Nest thing on my phone says the house isn't on fire. Like,
Yeah,
everything's fine.
exactly.
I'm not concerned. Like, did you eat a vegetable? Go. Yeah. Like, yeah. It's
That
not a
is
big
fun.
deal.
I feel bad for people that has older children because your kids aren't like I have 2 babies,
Yeah.
and to me it hasn't been so different because I'm used to having
Yeah.
my
Being home
kids
all the time anyway.
Yeah.
and being home all exactly.
Yeah.
Like what am I gonna do? Go party? No, I can't.
Right.
I can't. But I haven't been able to for 4 years.
Yeah.
I always have to count on daycare.
Well-
Whereas you have you haven't had
it's been that separation.
School.
I homeschooled for years too, and we homeschooled, and Rich and I worked together, and so when people were going to COVID, like, oh my gosh, I've never spent this much time with my family, and I was like, we've never been apart.
Yeah.
We're just always together, so it
wasn't that different.
It didn't feel different.
Good for you to
I
homeschool.
feel like a lot of people were like getting divorces and realizing they don't
Hate each
enjoy
other,
their family, and it's like, oh.
Yeah, my son never went back to in-person learning. He stayed online this whole
Yeah.
entire time, and it was a lot. Like,
You have
being
to get
together
to know each other
24/7,
differently.
365, just like always in an apartment together it was a lot.
A lot of people.
Like,
Look at me,
I'm like,
surviving.
I was not meant, or I don't think a lot of parents were meant to literally spend 24/7 with their kids, because I was obviously off the entire time, so it was just us.
Well, and G's dad lives in Toronto, so we weren't doing the back and forth like before, because they were like their neighborhood had more cases than all of Peterborough. Like, it just didn't feel like the safe choice.
Yes.
And his partner has some immune system. Like, we didn't want to mess around with anything.
Yeah.
You know, like we were like,
Just,
it doesn't feel
cut it
safe.
off.
We'll play
Yeah.
it out.
Yep.
So it was so nice when they could finally go for like a couple weeks. And I was like, they've never been away for that long. I was like, what do I even do? Like, I just worked the whole time. Because what else you can do? There's literally nothing else to do. So that was fine.
What are you gonna
But-
do? Exactly.
But you need a break. You need
Like, my son for the first time went to my parents, like the first week of July, and that had been the first time we had been apart in, like, this whole time.
It's hard. It's super hard.
And he didn't make it through the whole week. He was like, I'm homesick.
Aww.
Cute. That is a lot.
Yeah.
How old are yours?
A year and a half, and the other one's 4.
Aw.
And
Little
they're
guys.
busy. They are busy.
They're so
Yeah.
Children. Adorable, yes. They came yesterday and we played volleyball, and they came with us. And Patrick's my husband, he plays music, and they had a dance party.
Oh.
They just kept dancing
That's so
alone.
fun.
The little guy just dancing alone.
Aw.
That's
But
so
everybody brought kids, and it was a really nice scene. We all sort of went to school together.
Right.
That weird Catholic school I was telling you
Oh,
about.
yes. I
So all of
remember.
our friends, we've met there through the years. My roommate, she was my RA, or
Okay, yeah.
what do you call it, RA, resident,
Advisor.
whatever.
Yeah.
She was in charge of us, basically.
I never
That
lived in
we're
Res.
not-
I have no idea.
that we're not
I
drinking.
didn't live in Res either, but my brother did.
She was there, and she had like 3 kids there, and then my little brother-in-law also went there with his wife, and they were there, and everybody was there. So a lot of us finally together playing volleyball, and like children, a dog, and a nice little. It's in the farm.
Oh, that's
farm fields.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
the sun, we played till the sun's gone because the mosquitoes. So but the
You have to
sun
call it
sets
a day.
beautiful,
Yeah.
yeah. It was red, and
Nice.
every Friday it's so nice there.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
We moved to our neighborhood in East City just in January, and so it's like everyone was inside. It was cold. Like, we didn't really meet any of our neighbors, just side by side. So anytime we'd like seen people outside, it was like,
Right? Like, hey.
I feel during COVID I ended up meeting my neighbors because everybody was
Yeah.
going for walks. Or
Yeah.
my neighbor, like, she does gardening a lot. She
Yeah.
has a whole forest of tomatoes.
Her whole backyard is
Cool.
like, yeah.
Like all the vegetables she plants and potatoes. So she was giving me tips on how to plant since last year that we got like locked in. Garden is flourishing and mine gets eaten by the bunnies. I don't know how hers don't. All the bunnies just seem to just run by and stick to mine.
yeah, I can do indoor
3
plants.
tomatoes.
Gardening is not.
Your thing.
I have no idea.
Oh yeah?
Not a clue.
Funny. I would assume.
I'm sure I can do it, like, if I really put my mind to it, but I
Yeah.
don't know.
Do you have a big backyard?
We do, yeah. We've got blackberry bushes all on the back, and there's like some chives and stuff. But because this is our first summer living there, I was like, I don't know what's even planted anywhere.
Right.
We were just sort of guessing and asking the neighbors. We were like, what's back there? What's here? What's
Blackberries are nice, so
yeah. We've been sort of like picking them bit by bit. They probably need to be like pruned and kept up a little better.
Right.
I'm just trying to beat the birds to them.
Yes.
And run out and grab the right ones and run away.
we have the raspberry bush that is growing, and it's growing really well. But I also don't take care of it.
Yeah.
We just
I feel like it needs to be pruned. I'm sure.
Yeah. Pretty
Something.
sure.
it's growing. I like it though. I like it wild. It's just like it growing.
Let it go.
My mom knows gardening, so I'm
many
gonna have her come over and like,
yeah.
Figure it out.
please do my yard. Yeah.
This is it.
Well, and our front yard looks terrible right now because it was lovely when we moved in, even though it was like under snow. We knew that they had taken care of it, and we moved in, and a week later we had a sewage like backup.
Oh my god.
And so they had to dig
what a
out
mess.
a tunnel, like a big trench of half the driveway and all the way to the road.
Oh my god.
And the like backhoe driver,
Yeah,
operator,
it's called.
hit the garden, like the wood that holds the garden in the front, because it was all covered in snow, so we don't know what's there, so he kind of broke that, so we've been like trying to put it back together. But the front yard looks terrible. He's like, I'm sorry, it'll be fixed eventually.
Like, just gotta find the time.
Because we just got like, we were like, okay, the basement, like it's not a finished basement, but it's like a half, it's not gross. Like it's, like some basements are like dirt. This is a fine basement, but it's not
Completely.
yeah, it's not drywalled, I guess. But we had gotten everything like to storage here. My partner got his office all set up, and we were all like, okay, we're feeling good, we're getting unpacked. And then the sewage happened, and we lost a bunch of stuff right away. And then we had to pile everything on one side and cover it all, because then they dug out the whole basement, so everything was dust and like concrete dust. And I was like, this is not what I wanted to do. Like the month we moved in.
The pains of owning a house, I think.
Thankfully, we rent.
Oh my
I
goodness.
didn't have to do that.
Oh, that's good.
And we're
Yeah.
good friends with the guy who
Yeah.
owns the house. It was sort of a friend of a friend situation when we were moving, because we knew we wanted to be in East City. And his insurance, I think, covered most of it, which is really
Yeah,
nice.
I feel like I never want to own a house
Well, they
again
felt
because there's just
terrible.
so much
They were,
stuff
like,
to deal
It was
with.
literally the week we moved in, and he was like, I'm so sorry. Like, they've never had an issue. It's just like,
It's
they're
just
old
a
war
fluke.
times. It's just
Yeah.
things
Yeah.
break eventually. And
Well, the
Yeah.
houses are at least 50 years old.
Yeah.
again, at least. Our house, I think, is 55.
when we lived in Coburg, we were in a house that was built like in the 1850s.
Oh, I love old houses so much that
and I
they're
loved
my
it, but was
jam.
also so glad that we didn't own it, because I'm
But
like,
they
Oh, can you
did
imagine
This
upkeep?
needs help.
Oh yeah. No, I mean if you're rich, that's
Yeah.
what I would do. Like totally redo a really old house, but no, not with
Yeah.
not when I have no money.
But
No,
for
thank
us,
you.
We had the washer. He wanted to put that in,
yeah.
make it nice. And as soon as he started, he realized that nothing is insulated. There's
Oh
no
my
insulation
God.
in the house.
Oh my
So
god.
that's why the house is so cold, because there's no insulation. So he had to take down walls of the washer.
So it's one
that
project
the
that
one
leads
little
to
job.
Right, a zillion projects.
And now he
Yeah.
has to do the whole downstairs. He's just slowly insulating the house so that it's not so cold, because it gets freezing.
Yeah.
In the winter, the basement
gosh.
is an ice cube. It's not even nice.
Yeah, we moved into a house like
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
like
it is
when we
lovely.
bought our second house. And
We did a lot of like that spray foam
That's what we
expanding in the
did.
basement.
That's what we did too.
So I was like, why is there wind? We're underground. Like, yeah. We were like every hole got like everywhere.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude. Yeah,
Yeah, it was right on the lake, and it was like across from a big like butterfly garden and like community garden. So it was really beautiful. But it's trying to come back to Peterborough.
Yeah.
Time to come back from back home.
I feel like everyone comes back. If you're watching this and you moved away to Peterborough, you'll come
Welcome back.
Yeah.
Welcome back soon. Brain is stimulating. Like
Yeah.
plants.
You need the outlet.
Yes.
Yeah, a creative outlet. That's all that we are encouraging, which I
Yes.
think plants are.
Yes.
Well, you have managed to bring in your creative outlet. And well, I guess it's
Yeah.
all creative outlets.
I mean,
With plants and
Have you just always
Your
been
own-
interested in plants, or
I always grew up with plants. My mom was a plant person,
Yeah.
and like
Yeah, white
hippie, like vibe to our house. There was always plants. There was always.
Opposite of my house. My mom cannot keep a thing alive. Like there is no plants in my mom's house whatsoever.
Like,
She's just like everything dies. She cannot keep it alive inside. No.
I don't know, I just always liked them, and like when the space came up where plant was started, it was like the first thing that clicked in my head. I was like, wouldn't this be the cutest plant shop?
Right.
And I was like, I can see doing that, and that's.
Just
I signed a lease like the next day and was like, I guess we're doing this. And that's
so
it.
Crazy.
No, keeping it a second thought.
No.
Excellent.
That's awesome. I like that.
Wow.
My decisions are fairly.
And look at like how well it's done for you. That's so awesome.
Makes my partner go like, okay. But it's like he's the level-headed. Well, I think he just knows I'll do it anyway.
So he's like, well, I better stand behind her. She's doing it.
That's what
Insane ideas usually pan out.
Good for you.
So, and I mean, I'm supportive if he's got weird ideas he wants to do too. Like when he streamed video games for a living.
Oh, don't even go there with me. Yeah, that's been an issue with somebody I dated in the past. Just like, you're 48 years old, streaming video games all night long.
I don't care, I love it. I
What are you
do.
doing right now?
Like video
Oh my
games.
god, stop
Yes.
it.
I've always been.
Oh my goodness. I don't
Video game
understand
nerd.
I like playing video games, but not when my partner's playing them all night long and then sleeping all day, and I'm
Yeah,
just
that's
like,
good.
what?
Yeah, we have a
Please
life.
no. Don't do this.
Yeah.
No, we're all gamer dorks. It's a whole house.
I have no idea.
Oh, I play Animal Crossing like
Yeah.
a million hours a day.
You go to bed
Yeah.
when you're.
It's my relaxation.
I have no idea what that is.
It's like you live on a little island and you build it up and you can make all sorts of, it's very slow moving, it's not crazy, I'm just like,
And there are
it's,
plants.
there are
I was
plants.
like collecting all the house
Yeah,
plants in the
yeah,
house.
no, me too, I have a little plant,
Yeah.
like, for
There's like a
sale area.
monstera, there's a snake plant, there's a cat palm.
There's a cocoa plant, yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff,
cute.
it's awesome. Your plants every day because it actually gives you a purpose of something to do instead of just like wallowing in self-pity.
Well, I think of everyone who's had to like quarantine alone. Like,
Yeah.
they had families or kids or something,
Yeah.
but so many people were just by themselves.
Yes.
And it was like plants were their outlet.
Yes.
And even just coming to curbside pickup was like a reason to get out of the house.
Yes.
So that could be for any business, really. It was just like
Right.
something to do.
And like a little bit of human interaction
Yeah.
for even if it's just a split second.
I know, I'd
It'd be
always be
nice
like
to see somebody.
waving at people, or Rich would be like waving into the van, and we like toss plants on a porch and run away. And so that was kind of nice. And we had been doing deliveries since like as soon as we could. And we had so many people who were like, they're like, I'm immune compromised. I can't even move my house. They're like, I can't come do curbside. They're like, we're so glad that you're delivering, because at least you can bring it to my door.
They can't even do curbside?
No, like people who were
So many
whatever, some sort of immune.
And not just that, I mean, I'm
issue.
sure when you're immunocompromised, you're like super worried about doing anything right now because, you know, you don't want to risk it.
Yeah, no.
So it's nice to have that option that you guys were delivering, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. I divided the month in 4 sort of topics of wellness.
Okay.
One was silence, I think it's silence. The other one was joy, peace, and beauty. Sort of. I think that's my that was what I think what I have found that plants bring to me.
Yeah.
A moment to take for silence, because you water the plants, you're most likely alone.
Yeah.
Alone with your own thoughts.
It slows you down.
Yeah.
Yes, it slows the day down. It gives you, I do it on my lunch breaks, that I go and water all my plants and check if there's fruit, if there's vegetables, if they've been eating, if they've been eaten by the bunnies or not, if I can beat them or not. But it gives me that time alone to think
Yeah.
and think of either nothing, meditate on nothing, or just see it. then
because it's like a little ritual you're going through, you know?
Yeah.
Watering your plants and seeing what
Or,
needs
yeah,
water.
checking them.
And, yeah.
You know, like I'll sort of walk through my house and like give everyone a little touch and take a peek and
See
like
what's going on.
Do you talk to your plants?
all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. If
I talk to mine
can't-
too.
I
do.
can't get words out. Like,
So-
I'm thinking about it.
I'm pretty sure that's why my Venus flytrap is flourishing. I talk to it every day. I'm like, how are you doing?
If I turned on our camera at the store right now, I would catch our staff talking to the plants. I guarantee
That's
it right
awesome.
now. Our one staff member talks to the plants all the time. She says goodbye to them at the end of the day because I always see it on the security camera.
That's so
And we kind of
cute.
tease her about it, but we all do it.
Yes.
Like we'll all walk in and be like, "How's everyone today?" I'm like, "Oh, you need something. Oh,
Yeah.
you need this. You need this."
Wow.
Yeah.
See, I can't get myself to speak to them words. I am glad I'm there, and
You just sing to them.
it's just it doesn't come out of my mouth. It goes in my head. I talk to myself a lot, obviously, as you can imagine. That's why I write, because all my thoughts need to go somewhere. But to the plant, I'm having a hard time.
You just haven't met the right one yet, maybe. You need to, like,
The only one I talk to is my wheat plant. She's doing great.
like does it
She
talk
and
back?
Something depending on my judgment.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
No, well, this is the thing. So when I started getting last year, it was really probably the first time I started planting anything outside, and I also was a COVID planter.
Yeah.
I started becoming more of a plant person then, and I met Alex, who was doing all these oils and stuff with me, because she's a herbalist or aromatherapist. She's an aromatherapist. She plants all the stuff. She makes her own oils, so she taught me how to do it all. And we had a chat about how the plants like almost choose you and you choose the plants. Like it's almost like a relationship with a living thing.
Yeah.
And that's
Absolutely.
why some of them work better for like maybe that's why we don't work for everybody, because it's not for everybody.
Yeah.
The plant doesn't choose you, which to me that sounds crazy. But also I understand.
Well,
You know
sometimes
what
I'll
I
talk
mean?
to people and I'm like,
It's
I can't help you choose a plant unless I know like a little more about the space, a little more about your habits. Like, are you someone who's going to travel a lot? You need low maintenance. Are you someone who's like, I want to care for them every day? I want a challenge. I want something easy. I want this to be relaxing or like an adventure.
Right.
Some people
Yeah.
get plants. People get plants for all sorts of different reasons too. So we have people who buy plants because they're collectors and they want one of everything.
Right.
We have people who stick to one plant family because they know it works for them and they want every variety of that. We have people who buy them like you would buy furniture, it's decor. We have people who buy them solely as gifts. See, like there's all these different reasons, which is why I think there is such a broad appeal of plants, because you can come in and get a plant for $5 or $500. You can rare ones. We've rarely had $500 plants, but we have.
I see you have a cactus. I want to go buy it. That you can eat. You know?
The punche?
It's
There's,
I see it. I saw it in your store.
The like flat.
The flower.
Yeah.
Because I eat that in Mexico. And I want to go get it. Chop
Non-pales?
it and eat it.
Nopales? No.
Nopales. Yes.
Nopales.
Yes. Have you had that?
I haven't had it, but
Oh
I
my
know
goodness.
that it.
I want to buy it so I can eat it. This is why I buy plants. For eat.
Well, and
for
we've
food.
had
It's
a lot of
so healthy too.
a lot of international trip students come, and they're seeing plants that are from wherever they're from.
Yeah.
Whether it's somewhere in Asia or somewhere in South America or Africa, like we have plants from all over the world, so people are like, oh my gosh, this grows in my mom's backyard. And
Yes.
I think that's another sort of attraction to plants, because it's like
Brings
a little
you
bit
to
of
home.
traveling
Nostalgia.
too. Like you're seeing either something from
Definitely.
your childhood or something from your travels or something. Like my goal one day is to travel to like Thailand and to South America and to I want to just go and see the plants where they live in nature, because it's so different than how they grow here.
Yes. Yes. They do. They grow so different.
Yeah, like you'll see things that are monstera that are giant with leaves the size of this
Oh,
table,
I love monstera.
growing up the side of something, and then in our houses you're like, yay, you know, and like, they can get bigger,
Yeah.
but it's just different. Like when you give plants something to grow up tall, like vining plants, we get bigger leaves as they grow up, and so often we grow them hanging down, so they're only going to give you smaller leaves. Because that's not how they grow in nature. No plants start in the sky. I mean, plants that like latch on to other things.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like we'll grow a philodendron that will grow down, and it's beautiful. But if you grew it up close, your leaves will get bigger and bigger instead of smaller.
Huh.
And so there's just different ways to do it too. And
I had no idea.
One that I actually had a notice. See, this is why your reels are important. My plant, I don't know what the name of it is growing down. It's like a vine that goes down and has the leaves. And I noticed it has one roll, and it's unrolling. But I hadn't noticed that they even grow and roll and unroll.
yeah, and like unfurl.
But you had a reel that does that you're like waiting for. Waiting for I don't know what.
Because some people are like, oh, I just peel them open, and I'm like,
Don't do that.
there's a million YouTubers who will tell you like the way you must do it. I'm like, I will tell you how to keep it alive and still enjoy owning that plant.
And
Go like
enjoy.
collect the dew from the trees to feed to your Calathea, and I'm like, just leave it on the counter overnight.
It's fine.
Like, let's just meet somewhere in the middle of like,
Craziness.
Yeah.
See, that's the other interesting aspect I've encountered getting into plants. There is a lot of witches out there.
well, it's like parenting. Like, everyone's gonna tell you you're doing it wrong no matter how you do it.
No, I don't mean like they tell you that you're doing it wrong, but it is almost like like the other end to planting. You can take care of it. You can not take care of it.
Yeah.
You can also. The business is called the Happy Mean for a reason. You cannot have plants and not have any connection to nature, which I think it's dangerous. And then there is a place here in the middle that you take care of it and enjoy plants and enjoy the benefits of the plant. So say lavender gives you calm, peace. They have properties that each plant has properties that helps. Maybe gives you more oxygen if you have plants in your house. Some of them are just nice and pretty, you just enjoy looking at them. Then there's the other end that is using it for strange purposes. And that scares me. I don't know if you have encountered that, but the
Not
witches.
so much.
No.
I think I follow this hashtag called herbalists, which is really nice. It's people that use plants for a purpose. So, like a healing purpose sometimes. And I did. This is when I'm going to say this. And this is why I got into plants, because I find it fascinating that they help us in some way. I don't know if you believe in that or not.
I do for sure. I'm sort of like a mix between.
I don't think it's actually something you believe in. I think
like-
it is a fact. They have properties.
I mean,
that
there
help.
are people who won't believe that.
Yes.
I'm not one of those people.
Oh.
But there are people who will be like, no,
Yes.
that's not a part. They don't make it a part of their lives or take the time, you know? I think I'm somewhere in the middle
Right.
where I use a lot of natural products.
Yes.
And I use a lot of non-natural products.
No,
Yes.
me too. I'm
Agreed.
the same.
Yeah,
Same.
yeah.
Like I'll still buy shampoo, but like a lot of soap and bubbles.
Yeah.
Because I still like it's nice smelling shampoo. Well, and we make it so that it is nice and
Yeah.
bubbly. For a reason.
Yeah, like I'm pretty cautious about the type of sunscreen I use, but
Yes.
like, I don't know, another example on the other side of that, we'll eat a shit ton.
Yes. Same.
Yes.
You know?
Well, that's
Balance.
Right?
There's a
Same
balance
little
there.
balance.
give and take.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the way I got into it is because I find that there's a lot of things I can do with a plant that will substitute something, and it will make it maybe cheaper for me.
Yeah.
For example, this is not it, but this is a different one. I did my makeup remover,
Yeah.
and I did it with the lavender. I use lavender and almond oil, and I just infuse it. It's a really simple thing to do. But
Yeah.
then I'm not buying makeup remover. I'm not buying facial oil
Yep.
or a night cream because I don't.
Does it
What's
in
the
one.
purpose of buying
Yeah.
a ton of like really expensive products that either not work or
Yeah.
don't I don't know. I'm not a very productive person either. I've never been one of those people that has all the soaps and all the creams. I have a friend
That's me.
that is.
My bathroom is.
Oh.
I have like so much
Like the cream
things. I'm like, oh, what am I gonna use today? What am I gonna use right now? Like, yeah, I have about a zillion face masks, creams, serums, washes, like all of the things.
I get given a lot of things and then I don't know what to use them for. This
I
is
feel
the
like so
most
much of mine
makeup I've
expired
worn
over
in a long
COVID. So I
time.
just
Didn't use it.
I didn't use any makeup. Like I don't even think I own mascara right now. 'Cause it just
Oh
doesn't.
yeah, I totally had to go out and buy a new
It's like
mascara
all
because I was
off.
like,
Yeah.
oh, this is like a year old. I haven't used it. Like,
Yeah.
oh, gross.
I have 1,000 little bottles of mascara. My mom buys a lot of products, and
Yeah.
so she just gives me the ones that she doesn't like, or the ones that she got extra.
Yeah.
Yes,
So I wait till she gives me things, and I have 1,000
that's perfect.
unused things. Yeah. Anyways, but the reason why I got into it is because of this. So then I follow that hashtag of herbalist. But then there are ways of using plants, I think. Or there's people that believe on plants as a like really together with the weird spirit world.
Yep.
And I think
It's another
that's
end of
like
things.
that's that end. That's the other end.
The other
of
end.
that. Like I don't want to, like I'm happily using this as some weed and dandelion and pine
Yep.
to help with the mosquito bites in the summer.
Yep.
And then this is roses and hibiscus and vitamin A and E. Simple oil for the morning and a simple thing for the mosquitoes.
Awesome.
Because they do have properties that they do, I think, help. I don't know.
I've always used like different oils and things for mosquito repellent, with, like the citronella and the whatever.
Yes.
I find, see, that's the one thing I won't do natural.
Citronella?
No,
or
mosquito repellent. Because mosquitoes do get repelled for some people, but not for me.
Yeah.
I need the muscle, the fisherman's
Yes.
mosquito.
The thing I miss most about living in Coburg is because we're on the water, it's very breezy, so we never had bugs. There was never insects ever, except for like the one shadfly week.
Oh yes.
It's
Awful.
covered in them.
Yes, they're
It's really
awful.
gross. But you never had mosquitoes because it was always a breeze. They just didn't. And then we came back here and I was like, I forgot about this.
I forgot about the
The
mosquitoes.
mosquitoes are bad here.
Well, and our
It's so
backyard
bad.
is cedar,
Oh.
and so they're just
See, I sit out. I have a
Everywhere.
balcony on my second floor, and it is breezy, and there's no mosquitoes
Oh,
up
that's
there. I
nice.
can sit out like all night long and
well,
not
and we
get
have
bit.
a fire in the backyard, and like a wood fire would keep them away, but a propane fire
Oh, yes.
attracts
It's
them.
different. Yep.
Oh.
Because they attract to what the carbon monoxide,
Yes.
and that's what they want to come for. So that's less fun. You sort
Yeah.
of like duck inside for the weird hour.
They're disgusting. I will kill any animal that crosses my house. You cross the limit, you are dead.
You're done.
Yeah. No dogs. I won't kill dogs. But
We have so many pets, and half of them eat bugs anyway. So there's just bugs in the house. That doesn't bother me. We've got lizards and snakes and frogs, and they all eat
that
everything.
stuff. They eat all the bugs. That's nice. You have lizards and snakes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Lizards
great.
and snakes and rats, and cat and dog, and maybe that's it.
That's a lot.
Lizards are a fun little. Like they're
Well,
really pretty, but
The
I
story
don't think
behind our
think
smaller
they're pretty.
lizards is that they came in on plants at the store.
they came in the
Yeah,
plants.
so we had two animals, and my tree frog are from.
What?
They accidentally made their way up from Florida.
Oh my god.
So now they're pets.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. That's a cool
That's
story
crazy.
to have.
Yeah.
Like that's a cool thing to have them.
Um,
They're really expensive, no? Like
I mean,
lizards can be expensive.
they could be. These are just like little animals, which are kind of
Right.
everywhere, and then one's just like a tree frog.
That's awesome.
Is it the green ones? Or
No, that would be cool though.
yeah.
No, he's just like I don't even know what kind. Brown.
brown.
Brown tree frog.
Are you sure it came from Florida? Is it from
Oh, yeah.
the pond out here?
Because I've had people that are like, wouldn't you just put them outside? And I'm like, well, they don't live here, so either
Right,
it would
you're
cause
like-
an issue or it would,
Or it would
just,
just die,
Yeah.
which you don't want.
Yeah. But then we have an on purpose bearded dragon.
Oh,
And
cute.
our snakes too.
Do you go
But I've
to
always
that
liked
place
kids.
in the Brookdale Plaza
Yeah.
to get them food?
Yep.
I take my kids there to see the
I
animals.
take Alex there as well to see them.
I
cool
bought
store.
2 snakes from Jordan there, and we sort of trade customers back and forth because if people have, right, like we had one customer who actually months after they had a plant, a frog came out of hibernation in their plant,
Oh my god.
and they were like, "I'm not sure what to do
What?
here," and I was like, "Go
that's
go
so
see them,"
crazy.
and they send people to us for plants, so we sort of go back and forth.
Oh, that's
'cause
cool.
A lot of plant
That's
people
amazing.
are pet people.
We should talk to him next.
He's
Jordan,
cool.
is
Yeah,
it?
Jordan.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not his number, yeah.
We're gonna work on some planted tanks for them as like sort of a collaboration
Oh, that's
thing.
cool.
Because I like to do the planted like bioactive enclosures for it. So
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
my frog is in one where it's like all planted Calathea and pothos and things where
That's so
I mean he
cool.
destroys them because he jumps around and makes a mess, but
That
pretty
is
cool.
a really
That's
cool
awesome.
thing, yeah. Lizards are fun. Lizards are
yeah.
They're
The
really
bearded dragon is hilarious. We just call it the spiky cat.
Aw.
And it's just so
Does it
chill.
walk around your house?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you don't have it in a, it doesn't
It
have
is-
to be
it-
in the sun thing?
It does,
In
like
the
if
sunlight?
he or she has an enclosure with the like heat lamp and a UVB
Yeah.
lamp. But I let her out all the time.
That's so cute.
She'll like come up to the front and like beg to come out. She's like,
Aww.
please take me out.
Aww.
That is so
And then just for exercise, I'll like throw a mealworm across the living room floor and she'll go and grab it.
a what?
Like a mealworm, like a super worm, like a big.
That's
A big
that's
bug.
my problem. I have considered because we have no room for a dog or a cat. Well, my husband doesn't have a cat, but I have said, oh, can I just get a lizard? But then you
Bearded
have to
dragons are
feed
easy.
them. You have to feed them living bugs.
Yeah, it's
and
great.
that part I can't
Yeah.
cross. I can't cross.
I would
that
have a
part.
hard time with that. I don't
No
know.
way. Yours.
Well, I mean, I
You're
also
on.
have my like rescue rats. So I have 6 right now. One recently passed away, just of old age.
Yeah.
They get old too quick. Like
Yes.
they live till they're 3, and then
Oh,
That's kind of
not
it.
very old.
yeah. So usually they go somewhere between like 2 and 4. So I have 5 males and 1 female. So the female unfortunately is on her own right now because her like cage mate just passed away,
Aw.
which is sad. But I'm not getting more.
Right.
Um,
It sounds like you have a lot on your plate.
But then I also have like a freezer full of frozen rats and mice
For your
for the snakes.
Right.
Oh, and the snake doesn't want to eat the rats?
They're not-
Like living
I don't,
ones?
I don't tend to put them together.
No, probably not a good idea.
Smart.
My
are you
rat,
a
the
very
rats are too
caring
big.
person too? Probably.
Am I what?
Like a very caring, as much as you care for plants
think
and
so.
animals, you care a lot for people. Would you say or no?
I think sometimes I prefer the company of animals.
Oh,
Yeah.
me too. Same.
Fair. This
Same.
is why I ask because I wonder.
I'm
In
super
the conversation
introverted,
of wellness.
super like,
Oh yeah.
yeah, like the not seeing people part of COVID didn't really bother me.
It didn't really bother me either. Until more recently where I was like, oh, it's been a while since I've seen another human being.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, right here, I have to come up with a video so I can meet people. Extrovert,
Yeah.
right here.
Yeah, like I'm in doses. Like I also love to be an Aries, so I don't know if you care about that side of things.
I
but
do.
I'm like,
Aries.
My ex was an Aries.
I'm like center of attention,
Oh,
loud.
the
Yep.
star
I
thing.
know Aries.
But then also I'm like, when I'm done, I'm done.
Aries as in the zodiac sign.
Yes.
Okay. What?
And a lot of times I'm like, there's not much merit to that. But then I see a stupid Aries meme and I'm like,
I am a Scorpio through and through. I read and I'm just like, yeah, that's me. That's me.
my partner's Gemini.
Pretty Gemini. Yeah.
That's funny.
But he didn't believe it at all. And I'm like, look at this.
The reason why I don't believe is because I've heard that Taurus shouldn't marry another Taurus,
Taurus.
Oh, yeah.
and the two of us are Taurus, and then we have a kid that is the same. Like, well, either we're gonna all kill each other
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
years, or it's a lie. Hopefully, a lie. Because I don't want to kill anybody. I want to be safe. But we are very stubborn, so all of us.
Yeah.
So it's lovely. It's lovely to be Yes, you're at the S4 Club, but not.
Let's just reel
But
it in
this is
and then
reality.
here.
We still need to pay a mortgage.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's good. Balance. All about balance.
Yeah.
All right. On that note, we're gonna end this. I think we did.
We've rambled
We
for a
chatted.
Yeah, I
really long
think so too. It's been a while.
It's been a good chat. I
Yeah.
hope you learned a lot about succulents, where to put them, right?
sun. So much sun. So little water.
I don't know. I beg to differ.
You send
I
me
will
pictures
try.
of the succulents you're killing, and I'll help.
If I send you pictures of all the things I'm killing.
I did kill a string of pearls very badly. And I know it was from overwatering
Those are such a
it.
pretty
So I
thing.
got a new one.
Yeah.
And I
If
haven't
they're
watered
still
it since
plump,
like
Do
no,
not water
and I
them.
didn't know
Yeah.
that. And I was like, God, it's so dry. And I was
Exactly.
watering it, and then it just all, and I
Yeah.
was like, why are you dying?
This
But
is
then
why-
I took it out, and I was like, oh.
I always try to encourage people. I'm like, picture it in the wild where this type of plant might live. Think about the climate. Think about what it's doing. It's like that's a plump plant with dry soil because it's holding all its moisture in here. So if you
Right.
water it, it's like, well, now I have
Doesn't
too
know
much
what
water,
to do. Yeah.
and it will just sit there and rot.
Yeah.
Those are the
it
ones
totally
that are
rotted.
like circles?
Yes.
You got those? I saw them
They're
on your
super
page. They're really cute.
Yeah, my new one is doing wonderfully. I haven't watered it since
Yeah,
I
I'm
got
like,
it
ignore
like a month ago. I have not done anything to
Yeah.
it, and it's so. I'm like, oh, that's what it's supposed to look like.
Well, and overwatering is like the #1 way people kill plants.
Yeah.
For sure. I'm like, you gotta leave it. I'm like,
Well, I
resist the
think
urge.
I have a big banana plant, and I don't know. It all started fraying and stuff, and then I read it could be from overwatering, but I was like, I didn't feel like I was watering it very often at all. But it would really.
It's a
I was-
banana plant.
it's like a big.
Gives you bananas?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some are edible, some are ornamental.
It's really pretty, but it's huge, and I don't know what I'm gonna do with it when summer's over because it's on my balcony.
Yeah, I have a
Bananas grow on
palm like
trees,
that.
right? I have 2 palms. What am I gonna do with 2 palms in the summer? In the
In the
winter?
winter, put them in your south-facing window if you have one, or add more light.
I might have to buy a light.
Yeah.
Like a fake light.
I'm
'cause
lucky I have a
light.
huge window that gets sun all day long. I just plop them all
Yeah, I
in
have, like,
front of there.
I have a giant, like a giant Chinese fan farm that's like, it takes up as much space as this table, and there's
Right.
nowhere, like, it's got to go in the middle of the living room. I was like, I didn't think this through.
Right? No,
I'll
I
have to,
know.
like, take it to the warehouse. I don't know what the rest of
I
it.
see plants I want and I just buy them and I get home and I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't even know what I'm gonna do with this anymore. I have no
Yeah.
room for anything.
Well, my palms are great because we make it by the hot tub. Looks like it's the beach. They like to pretend like the beach. So
Yeah.
we put palms besides the hot tub. And
I like, well, we
Beach-
used it sort of like a
beach time.
privacy thing on the side of our porch because it kind of
Yes.
like shelters us in.
Yeah.
And then, like, if I drop a plant or a plant at the store comes in and I'm like, you're not as pretty, and like, those all end up at my house. People are like, oh, you must have the best plants. And I'm like, I have all the
The
rejected
worst
plants.
plants. That's so
I'm like,
wonderful.
Nobody
it's like-
wants to buy.
I'm like, oh, you look pathetic. You'll have to come home with me.
Nobody
yeah,
wants
it's
to.
Yeah, I'm like, here, because sometimes you'll get, 10 of something that are totally perfect and one that's kind of,
Yeah.
and I'll either mark it down or, find
Take it.
someone who wants it or
Yep.
or I'll drop stuff because I'm super clumsy. I'll
Yeah.
trip on something, step on something. I'm like, oh, you gotta come home now.
Oh wow. Oops. I dropped you.
Yeah.
Okay, on that note, head over to Plant Goals in George Street?
Water Street.
Water Street, sorry. Besides,
We're
Okay,
beside me.
hold on, 1 second. Once again, head over to Water Street. What's the number?
We're at 387 Water Street, kind of across-ish from the Scotiabank.
Yes.
On that block.
Okay.
Yes, yes. Park
It's a
at
good
Scotiabank,
street.
walk
Everything's happening
over.
on Water Street.
Yeah, have a drink at the.
Don't
it's-
park at Scotiabank, they will ticket you.
Oh my goodness.
I used to park there all the time.
You're luck out if you didn't get a ticket.
Well, like back in the day.
Yeah.
Like 5 years ago when I used to go out
Yeah.
to the street.
I feel like parking's got a little more strict, but there is a lot
Yeah.
of street parking. So.
Yes,
there
there
is.
is.
And the King Street. I just parked
Yeah.
here. King
Yeah.
Street parking lot's great.
Yeah.
Have a drink. Verona's is open yet?
Yeah,
Are
St.
they
Verona's.
there?
Yeah, behind our store in that courtyard is St. Verona's.
Yummy.
Yeah, and the little
And
the
Food
petite bar.
Forest. And then Le Petit Bar is out front, which
Oh,
is where I'm
such
going
good
this
food.
afternoon.
Nice.
Well, head over to the downtown.